Hi guys, going to have a game of bolt action tonight. We're going to play Top Secret against my mate Rich. So I'm just going to run you through the battlefield. So we've got a cornfield up there, which will be difficult terrain. There's a ford to cross the river, and then the hedgerows and the trees are going to provide soft cover. There are a few ruined buildings at the top here. Another ploughed field, which will be difficult terrain. A bridge to give hard cover, and the buildings will give hard cover too. The objective is right in the middle of the table, just there. My mate Rich is going to be coming on from this side, and I'm going to be coming on from this side. We're going to play the long ends of the table because it's quite a small table, so hopefully we'll have a bit of a longer game. I'm going to come back and you can have a look at the forces in a second. Again guys, so Richard's force is the British and Commonwealth, and he's going to have a second lieutenant with an extra rifleman, a medic, two 10-man rifle squads, infantry squads, with an NCO, with an SMG and LMG, and then the rest are all rifles. And he's got two of those. He's also going to have a Bren carrier, and he will have a light mortar team, a Vickers MMG, and the free artillery observer. Okay, so here are my forces. The Germans are going to have a lieutenant and two extra riflemen. Then they're going to have two 10-man Wehrmacht squads with an NCO with an MP40 and a light machine gun team. The rest are all rifles. There are Panzerfaust depicted, but they're all going to be rifles. They also have a Hanomag and an 81mm mortar team and an MG42 medium machine gun team. So we'll be back with the end of first turn. Okay guys, so this turn, what happened this turn? Richard's Bren carrier came on, which has his second lieutenant and his rifleman in there, and his artillery observer. That's supported by a 10-man squad. The light mortar came up and took cover in the wood on the hill, but the medic, the other 10-man squad, and the machine gun, the medium machine gun, the Vickers, stayed off the board. For the Germans, the Hanomag came on with a 10-man squad in it, supported by the second lieutenant and his two extra riflemen, and the medium mortar came on and took cover behind the hedge. They also have two 10-man squads and the medium machine gun that stayed off the board. We'll be back with the end of turn 2. Hey guys, so end of turn 2. What's happened this time? The main thing was the medium mortar fired on the Bren carrier, got a very lucky hit and knocked it out. So the second lieutenant and his extra man and the forward artillery observer bailed, and the second lieutenant and his extra man were killed. And the artillery observer has 3 pins. The two 10-man units came up in behind the bush, behind the hedge, and another one came up behind them, supported by the medic. The light mortar fired on a German unit here that advanced in the Hanomag, which fired on the light mortar but missed. They then disembarked, picked up the briefcase, and they're heading back. Second lieutenant came up to support, and the other 10-man squad came on, and the medium machine gun came on. We'll be back at the end of turn 3. Right guys, end of turn 3. What's happened this turn I should say. Basically the 10-man squad that picked up the token, they've taken quite a lot of fire and picked up a couple of pins. The Hanomag came and turned round, ready to take them back. But the second lieutenant and his men decided to come and pick up the briefcase instead. These guys came out from behind and fired on this unit here, giving them a couple of casualties. The MMG fired on them and the mortar without much success. Return fire from the British MMG and the light mortar, again no casualties from that, although these guys that advanced across the field did cause a few casualties on the Germans in the trees. The other 10-man squad moved up behind the hedge there, supported by the medic, and the artillery observer is still down. Back at the end of turn 4. Okay, end of turn 4. What's happened? Well, the lieutenant picked up the case, got in the Hanomag, and then that drove off up that way. There was a British unit here that tried to get in the way, but then they lost out to this unit in hand-to-hand combat, who then regrouped behind the wall. They got fired on by the machine gun team and by the mortar, but the machine gun team caused some casualties? No, nothing. These guys, they moved up and did they fire? Yeah, they advanced and fired on these guys, I think, and did cause some casualties. Medics come up to support them. Artillery reserve foobarred and has run off to the edge of the table. These guys came in and had a go at the unit that was here, as did the MMG, and the mortar fired but missed. So we'll be back at the end of turn 5. Okay, we didn't finish the end of turn 5 because what happened, this unit here, the Brits here, came over the top of the hill and shot up these guys a bit, causing 4 casualties. But the Hanomag that was there escaped with the lieutenant and the briefcase. So it's a German victory. Let us know, guys, if there's anything you'd have done differently, anything we can pass on, anything else you might like to see. I'd love to see any comments you might have, and yeah, subscribe.